All right, everyone, this is our newest addition to the shop. It is a 2007 Honda CR125R. It is a pretty freaking nice bike. So obviously it's got aluminum frame. This is the first full aluminum frame bike that we have in the shop. And man, it is nice. It is so nice. Like, I can't even explain it with words, but I'll try to. And like trail riding on this thing, it's so much lighter that makes it like a lot more maneuverable and easier to push and pull around and scoot around, things of that sort, if you ever need to. And just that alone, it makes a huge freaking difference in trail riding out in the woods and stuff, and I freaking love it for that. But yeah, so it's only a 125. I know the theme so far has been, you know, like 250s and stuff. We do have the 180, the RT 180 over there, and the PE 175 there. But yeah, this thing, we got it for a pretty decent price. I mean, it's not perfect. It doesn't really need it, but it could use some new plastics and a new seat cover to make it look, you know, minty fresh. Probably some new grips, or just clean those up. It's got breakaway levers on it already. It's got quick snap throttle. Got the chrome radiators, all that stuff. There is some hardware and stuff missing here that I need to replace at some point, but I've pretty much replaced almost all the hardware on this thing. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of work that's going to be done in this video, so it may be a pretty long one, but it was well worth it on my part anyway. The bike is, but anyway, yeah, so I'll just go ahead and jump into the video. All right, so today, working on a new bike of ours, and you can see here, there is an absolute mess of parts on the shop floor. Some gaskets, some new parts here. So you may have gathered what's going on by now. We're doing ourselves top end rebuild on this 2007 CR125R. I've done a little bit of work to this thing already. Take a look, see the frame on that side. Let me come over here. She is polishing up pretty nice, and I believe I may do a little bit of that work on the case covers on the side here, or that would be the clutch cover on that side, and then the magneto cover on the other side. I may go ahead and do those as well. But yeah, so that was, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes worth of wet sanding, polishing. But anyway, yeah, 2007 CR125R, and doesn't look like much right now. Obviously, I've got majority of the parts scattered across the shop floor here, but we rode it a good few times, you know, gave her the beans, and she took it pretty well. But from the get-go, I kind of felt like whenever we even looked at this bike that the compression was a little bit low. It seemed like it was way too easy to kick over, and that ended up being the case. So yeah, we're getting pretty close. We're on the home stretch here now, and it is looking really freaking good. I got this other side cleaned up here, and yeah, it's getting to be where you could just eat off of this freaking thing. Put a freaking egg on it and eat off of it. But this thing here is gonna bother me. Expansion chamber is disgusting. I kind of want to get some VHT high temp header paint, you know, something like that. Repaint that thing black, or yeah, red would look really tacky. But yeah, I cleaned up the frame rail on the inside there because it had a little bit of spooge and stuff on it also. But cleaned up these hoses, they're all nice and dandy now. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this thing's turning out. And what else did I do here? Oh, I put that top engine mount on there. Pretty much the biggest pain in the butt about this whole build has been this tiny freaking hose here. It's super stiff, but hose be like that sometimes. So anyway, yeah, pretty happy with the progress. Considering all the cleaning and polishing and stuff I've been doing, it's taken a lot longer than it would have if I just threw it all back together, obviously. But I wanted to go ahead and just make it look nice. All this polishing and stuff I'm doing, it's only gonna have to be done once. After this, just wash it off and it's gonna look super pretty again. So pretty excited about that. But we're gonna put this tank in here, clean that expansion chamber up, get it put in there. I do have some new springs for that as well. Okay, well, this is exciting. As soon as I laid down to go to sleep last night, I realized I had messed up big time. And in a few ways. So, first is that I didn't check to see if there was an exhaust bridge on the CR, and there is, of course. And then also, I didn't verify if there was a mark on the top of the piston ring, if it was a sided piston ring, and there is. So if there's like a dot or any kind of marking or anything like that, that means that your piston ring has to be installed with that mark on the top. So, which I actually had it installed the correct way, coincidentally, but yeah, so I had to disassemble it so that I could verify whether or not I had the piston ring installed correctly. And then also for that exhaust bridge, you're supposed to drill 2 relief ports into the piston. You can see I got some scratches in here. Those are markings. But anyway, you keep the piston inside the chamber, get it basically top dead center, and use pencil or just scratch the surface of the piston a little bit to make lines on the outsides of that exhaust bridge. And then 0.3 inches down, you make your first mark for your first hole. And then 0.375 inches down, you make the second mark to do the second exhaust bridge port. And you need a 1/16 inch drill bit to drill out those ports, or a 5/64 drill bit to drill out the ports. I'm going to use a 1/16 of an inch to drill it out, and then I will be deburring it with the 5/64. I'm just going to barely set it in there and go around the hole. But and then the third thing that I realized was this piston doesn't have an intake port, window, or boost port, whatever you want to call it, on the intake side. So this piston, you don't necessarily have to have that on a 2-stroke, but if you don't have it, you're going to be sacrificing top end for low end. So if you have that port, you'll have better top end, not as good of low end power or torque. So with this piston, I'll have better low end, less top end, which is no big deal. But anyway, I'm going to drill these holes out and reassemble everything again. Yay. Okay, so easy enough. A little bit nerve-wracking freaking drilling a hole in a new piston. But anyway, the exhaust bridge ports are now in there, and it's time for reassembly. So I'm going to throw some gloves on, get everything lubricated up again, and get this all back together real quick. Yay! So she is finally all done, and ready for her first start, or attempt at a start. I'm going to just kick it over a few times, get things, circulating or whatever. We'll heat cycle it a few times, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and kick it over a few times and see what she does. Pick up more noise than what I'm hearing, but it's not knocking. Can't hear the needle bearings or anything. Idling good. So yeah, I'm just gonna let it warm up for a little bit off of camera, let it cool back down, and then let it do that again. And after the second time, I'll be retorquing the head bolts and stuff, and yeah, should be good to go. Yes. Alright, so that is gonna do it for this video, unfortunately. But you know, I really would have liked to have taken it on a couple test strips and stuff like that, but it's actually dark now and it is pretty freaking cold. I think it's like 30 degrees or something right now. But I still need to heat cycle it a couple more times, and I need to take it on a couple little test rides and make sure that the rings are properly seated and broken in. But other than that, I am super happy with how it turned out, despite the bad time that I had with it, which was, you know, I caused it on myself. I'll definitely be addressing the expansion chamber in the future. Like I said, I'll probably do a high temp like header paint or something like that. And yeah, aside from that, not much else to say here. The next video will be me taking this thing on a couple little test rides, taking it on a rip. Hopefully we'll have some nicer, warmer weather in the next week or so, and I'll be able to take it out to my buddies or something like that and have some fun on it, but we'll see. Anyway, if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video and you hit the dislike button, then leave a comment down below. Tell me why. Unless you're a coward or something. Whatever. But yeah, so any other questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If you think I've earned your subscription today, go ahead and tap on that sub button down there. And I appreciate it very much. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.